It was going to happen. We're into week 5 of lockdown and the family have had enough. I've been consigned to the chicken run, and so here I'm spending my days and my nights. Welcome to the next in our series of looking at these resurrection appearances of Jesus in John's Gospel. We've been thinking a bit about Peter and how Jesus restored to Peter his original calling, how he recommissions him to work with himself in making the world a little bit more like heaven. So after that, what do you think Peter says to Jesus? After Jesus has forgiven him and restored him, what do you think Peter's response is? Does he fall down on his knees and say, "Wow, Jesus, thank you so much"? Or does he say, "Well, Jesus, when do we start? Where do we go next"? No, actually, what he says is, can I just ask Jesus, what about him? You see, I guess it's been fairly intense between Jesus and Peter in the course of that conversation, as Jesus eyeballs Peter and as Peter eyeballs Jesus. And perhaps it got a little bit too much for Peter. He's a little bit uncomfortable with the intensity, and so he tries to change the subject. Jesus, can I just ask, what about John? What's going to happen to him? Well, maybe there's more than just a little bit of intensity going on there. Maybe it's actually about rivalry. A few years before, Jesus was talking about all that was going to happen to him, and James and John, nicknamed the Sons of Thunder, we've all had kids like that in our youth group, they go to Jesus and say, "Jesus, when you get into your kingdom, could you do us a favour? Could one of us sit on your left and one of us on your right?" And Jesus says, "No, you don't understand. That's not what it's like in my kingdom." And I just wonder, now that Jesus has been raised from the dead, whether Peter is thinking about that conversation and just wants to make sure that he, the feeder of the sheep with Jesus, is going to be above John. Rivalry. Even though we're talking about love and grace and ministry and working with Jesus, that human response creeps back in. Well, Jesus says, never mind him. This is about you. You follow me. And the thing is, there is no place for rivalry in this kingdom of light, in ministering with Jesus. The cross has done away with all of that kind of stuff. And the glory of being part of God's community, of being part of the church, of being part of God's kingdom on earth, is that there is no rivalry, there is no status, there is no hierarchy. Despite what you might think if you've ever been in a church or been around clergy and all of that kind of stuff, we all sometimes naturally jockey for position. Well, no, not so with us, says Jesus. He himself says to the disciples, "I no longer call you anything other than friends." Jesus himself puts himself alongside us. So who are we to try and impose some kind of hierarchy? No, we're sisters and brothers alongside one another. That's one of the things I miss most about not being able to be in church, is to receive communion alongside my other brothers and sisters. Those who are successful in life, those who don't feel that they're successful at all. Those who are full of energy and in the midst of busy careers and home lives, and those who feel like they don't do a lot Monday to Sunday, actually. Those who feel really important, those who feel completely insignificant. We're all lined up alongside one another without rank or distinction, simply called to be alongside Jesus as his brothers and sisters. As Jesus commissions his disciples to walk with him empowered by his Spirit, so he wants to make clear to them and to us, his followers today, that it's not about rank or status or rivalry. And if we seek after those things or try and achieve those things, all we'll find is that Jesus is walking the other way. It's not about where we are with other people. We're called to go underneath in order to serve and lift other people up. So don't let's worry about everyone else. Let's not be like chickens and just be concerned about the pecking order. It doesn't work like that with us. We're not chickens. We're sisters and brothers with each other in God's kingdom. Now, it would be really great if someone could come and help me get out of here, because I really don't want to spend the night with these guys. It's a little bit smelly and they're making some strange noises. Could someone come and let me out, please?